it's Thursday, so this is Coffee with Ralph. Last week I thanked y'all for not being upset that I didn't go live. I've been studying these figures and the cost of care and comparing costs for the last, 4 or 5 years here. You see, I watched a commercial here just the other day, and it was from one of the estate planning guys here in Grand Rapids area, and he said 90% of all trusts fail their owners. That's a pretty beefy statement, I think. And I thought, well, why is that? And then I looked, and I got looking at the financial end of things and realized that 100%, probably 90 to 100% of financial plans put together out there for individuals fail. And it's because of this thing called long-term care. And it's gotten steeper. We all know what's happened, the cost of things over the last 4 years here, 5 years, 4 or 5 years. And we know everything's gotten more expensive, but until you dig into the numbers, sometimes it just doesn't make sense. And here's the thing that gets me. I can sit there and we can talk about the impact it's going to have on your family and the dynamics of your family. And it comes down to the money. What about the money? And I'm always quite surprised that seems to be the one key factor that everybody has to. Well, they're more concerned about that than they are about their own care, for goodness sakes, it seems. Well, what's going to happen to the money? How am I going to spend it? Where's it going to come up with? It's not enough to have a plan of care. We also have to have a plan of funding. But financial plans are failing people left and right now. And for one reason, it's called this thing called inflation. And they want us to believe that this inflation is a temporary situation. But I haven't seen any prices go back to where they were in 2020. I'm going to share my screen because that's what I need to do. I have a couple of things here. Yeah, let me get the right one up here. I think that's the one I want right there. You bet it is. All right. So you should be seeing on your left at the top will say cost of care 2019. And then on your right, you'll see cost of care 2023. I have another spreadsheet up here I'm going to jump into in a little bit, just so everybody can get a grip. But I want you to see what's happened here since 2019. And when I sit down with folks, I talk about the need to plan for inflation. You see, the cost of care has actually gone up more, as you can see on the left here. Michigan's changed since 2018, just 2018 to 2019. Homemaker services, as somebody come in and help around the house, has gone up by 5% almost. Well, all right, let's dig into this. You notice on the left, the 2019 are an annual, but on the right, the 2013 or 2023, excuse me, is monthly. So let me transfer some digits here for you. In 2019, homemaker services, and by the way, these are all based on 40-hour weeks, okay, of care or services. In 2019, that 40 hours a week would have equated to, for homemakers, this is just around the house stuff, 52 grand. You see that, right? Well, look, jump over here and see homemaker services 2023, and it's 5,900. That's $70,900. So in 4 years, less than 4 years, 3 years, it's gone up by $14,000. What's that? 8%? Something along that line. But let's take a look now at home health aid. That's the people come in with the personal care stuff. All right. That went from 53 to 75.5. Gone up a little bit. And I know what you're saying. I know I thought the same thing, so I'm gonna reflect on that in a bit. Well, geez, I'm not in need of care now, so what's it gonna be in a few years? I'll get there. The adult daycare has gone from 20,000. Yes, 20,000 to that's 50 grand. More than 100% increase. Why? Supply and demand? Possibly. Inflation? Possibly. Could it be both? Probably. And believe it or not, the need is only going to get greater. The adult daycare, adult health care, excuse me. That's the daycare thing. That's someplace to put mom or dad for the day so you can go to work. That's the only way some people are managing this. Assisted living facilities. Let's go there. Let me scroll down here on this page just a little bit so you can get more across. Assisted living has gone from 48,000 for a private 1-bedroom, right, to 60,600. Yeah, we can take a look at that any way we want to. In the nursing home, $126,800 is what 2023's cost versus 100,000. I'd say that's a 26% increase. Would you not? Well, let's get a private room in a nursing home. I need 24/7, and I guess that's where I'm going to go. It went from 111 to 137.6. Again, about a 20% increase, right? That's 5% a year. So you can see that needing care just to stay in her home has become more expensive. Well, it's always been more expensive, but we want to stay in our home. So we're going to spend twice as much and stay in our home as to move into an assisted living facility. Let me say that again. We're going to spend twice as much to stay at home as we are to go to an adult living facility. Assisted living. Doesn't have to be assisted. I mean, independent's not there, but that's one step down. You're right there in case something happens. They have an emergency pull cord. You have medical care right there on the site. Where you go. That's less expensive than staying at home. And oh, by the way, that would be less stressful than having our kids work on this for us, wouldn't it? There's another point to this that I want to go into just a bit, because now I'm 66 and it's not gonna be long. I'm gonna be 67. And I guess that's really just a number, but it's not. It's life experience. For me to sit there in my house and talk to somebody that hasn't had any of these experiences, I watch some elder statesmen I know who their generation is pretty well gone. And it's frustrating for them because they're trying to tell the younger people, including myself, what it was like during the Korean War, what it was like during the Depression, what it was like during Vietnam. And I don't understand it. I mean, I can hear the stories and I can appreciate it, but I wasn't there. So for them to talk about that time of their life, they need somebody their age. It'd be like me talking about back in the day when we'd take our old beaters and run down the dirt roads and drink a beer with our friends. These kids don't understand that today. Or we're going to the races because that's where we can have a lot of fun and get a little bit of ruckus going on there, but not getting too much trouble. Now they sit on computers. So how am I going to explain to younger people that I don't want to sit on a computer. I want to be around people. And yeah, it's kind of cool if I can be around people my own age. So sometimes this assisted living facility is probably the right move. I mean, I would absolutely consider it. Matter of fact, I'd past consider it. It is not something that I am so dead set on staying home. I have no attachment that says I have to be here. If it's in my best interest, that's where I'm going. And if it takes the stress off my family, that's my first step. I'll go independent living where I don't have to worry about a lot of that stuff. Somebody else can do it for me, right? So I told you, I don't need care today, nor do you, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't be looking at this with me. So let's look up 10 years. So we can honestly put together a plan that will take care of us then, and take care of our family. But we have to take a look at the cost. Here we go. Now I haven't converted these figures, but if 5,900 is almost $7,000 or 70,000 a year, almost 71, what's $8,000? That's $96,000 for a homemaker, somebody to come in and take care of the house. How about the health aid? 8,500. That's only 2,200 a month more in 10 years than it is now. That's assuming this stays pace with the rate of inflation at like 3.5% or 4%. Healthcare is not gonna do that. Never has, never will. So what's 85? That's $100,000 to stay at home. So now to stay at home, I need to spend $180,000 a year. But I could go to a private 1-bedroom, and that's still just under $84,000 a year. Only $84,000 a year versus 60. Can I get my point across that we need to look at this plan, not just in the aspect of what I want, but how am I going to pay for it when the cost goes up to where these costs are going up? And what about another 10 years from there? What if you're only 55 and it's going to be 75 before you need care? I don't want to think you want to know those figures, but here's where I want to go with this. If you're to look at this today and you were to take and prepare a plan with inflation, say at 5%, would it keep pace with what's going on? Absolutely. And by the way, long-term care insurance is obviously less than $100,000 a year. So this is the old Mr. Goodrich commercial. You can pay me now, or you can pay me later. Later is always more expensive than now. Hey, listen, we're running out of time today. I want to thank you all for being here. Just remember, coffeewithralph.com is a free 15-minute call with me. We can discuss anything and everything that's on your mind. Well, almost everything. But know that this is something that I insist that we talk about. If you look at me and say, hey, I'd like to become one of your clients, this is the first thing we're going to talk about. Why? Because it is the absolute destruction of a financial plan, of an estate plan, of your life and your kids' lives. Your family will be devastated by this too. Hey, coffeewithralph.com, free 15-minute call with me. You need more time than that, put it in the notes. I'll be more than happy to take as much time as you need. Again, this has been Coffee with Ralph.